Hello doctors, Namaste. Welcome to Careers 360. A few years back when Supreme Court interfered and imposed a common entrance examination for medical education in the country, it was also setting up a minimum standards that must be adhered to. And the minimum standards then that was discussed and agreed upon was 50th percentile, which essentially means that in NEET PG for examination, which we are right now discussing, if there are 2 lakh students who appear for the examination, the top half, which is about 1 lakh students, qualify, and the other half doesn't qualify, which is another 1 lakh. That is the minimum standard that was set. And of course, based on category, it was also slightly different. But having said that, like for example, in SC, ST and all, it is 40th percentile and so on and so forth. But what happened is, because some of these medical colleges are extremely high priced, even with the half of them qualifying, they could not fill in the seats. So what did the council started doing? They start reducing the minimum qualification. What was 50th percentile, for example, in 24 was brought down to 15th percentile in the month of January, and result came in the month of August, and it was 50th percentile. The counseling happened, and by January it was brought down to 15th percentile. By February it was brought down to 5th percentile, which means that of the number of students who appeared, 95 students qualified. And the reason why they were doing it is they wanted to ensure that every single PG seat in every medical college is filled in, and largely these are PG seats that are in medical colleges where the fee is so high that you need to have people who can afford to pay and not merit. And the same thing happened earlier also in 2023, where because the seats were not getting filled in, they brought down the qualification to 0 percentile, which means anyone who appeared for the examination qualifies. In the process, the merit went out of window, so much so that in 2023, people who got minus marks out of 800 or 0 marks out of 800 also qualified to be your doctors and treat you. Let me explain through data at this point in time. Now look at this data here. We are talking about 2023 data, right? In 2023, the students who qualified, we are only talking of students who qualified, mind you. We are not talking of students who did not qualify. We are talking of students who qualified to claim a NEET PG seat. There is one student with minus 40 marks who qualified. The percentile is 0, of course, right? There is one student of minus 25. One of minus 24, and this is the rank that they got, and all the students qualified. Minus 20, minus 19, minus 11, minus 11, minus 10, 5, 2, 1. All the students qualified to be claiming a NEET PG seat. I'll also come to it whether how many of them actually taken the seat. I'll also come there, because you should be understanding that the kind of doctors that you're getting into, that kind of doctors who will be treating all of us, has now the quality started falling dramatically. Then we looked at the next bunch, right? Here, you actually have the students who actually got, again we're talking of 2023, 14 students got 0 marks, right? They got 0 marks, but qualified for the thing. They all got 0 marks and qualified to claim a seat in NEET PG. And by the way, this score is out of 800 marks. So what we have is students who scored 0 marks out of 800 or minus 40 out of 800. You understand what it essentially is happening. And these students have qualified, and they could have very well claimed a seat for NEET PG in one of these colleges. Going further down, what essentially happened? In 2023, again, when you look at the whole thing, you actually have students with a percentile of 0.25 qualifying, or 0.22, 0.14, 0.10. These are percentile, mind you, which means there are not 1 percentile, but less than that. A fraction of 1 percentile is a score that you have, and you still qualified and have claimed seats. These are all students who got more than 2 lakh rank. More than 2 lakh rank is 0 marks and those kind of things. All the students, 0.08 percentile, it's 1/10 of 1 percentile, just to put things in perspective. Their score was 24 out of 800, and they did qualify, and they went to these colleges: Shivamoga, Bidar Institute, MKCG, Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences, Karad, Sri Vasantrao Nayak Government Medical College, Yavatmal, JSS Medical College, and so on and so forth. So you actually have a bunch of students who qualified, who are lowest of the low in terms of percentile, but they did get into a medical college based on the score. Further down, if you see 0.057, 0.052, 0.04, this is a 0.01 percentile. This student has got just 5 marks out of 800. The percentile is 0.017 percentile, and the student got a seat in Maharishi Markandeeshwar Institute of Medical Sciences in Mulara. And this continues across the board if you now notice very carefully, right? So that is 16 students who got it. And similarly, in 2024, I explained to you on 2023, where students who scored 5 marks out of 800 also actually have joined a medical college to be an MD. Actually have joined it, which means they'll soon be doctors and will be treating all of us, right? Now in 2024, if you think it's an exclusive case only for 2023, that is wrong. In 2024, the percentile was brought down to 5th percentile. And still, remember at 2 lakh rank and above, the score was 0. This year, they did not, disclose the score because they suddenly got worried that if they disclose the score, stories like this will come. So what do? To hide the entire information, they only declared a percentile. We don't know the scores at this point in time. All we know is a percentile. But at a percentile, which is 5th percentile, which is what the qualifying last year was. And remember, 2 lakh rank last year was a score of 0 also. If you just go back and you look at this data here, 2 lakh 491 and all those things, the score is 0, right? So if I have to extend the same logic here, and we are talking of 2024, 2 lakh 3,320. All the students, in all possibility, would have got a score which is between 5 and 0. 2 lakh 3,000 or 5 and 510 or whatever it is, right? Remember, because at 2 lakh rank, you only got 0 marks. And that is what has been the history of this whole thing. Because we don't have the scores, but we only have the percentile, we can talk about that. And these students, if you just go into the whole thing, there are 25 students who scored a rank of 2 lakh and above, right? And all the students have joined a medical college and have somehow got a seat in 2024 in one of these medical colleges to be an MD in this country. The question that I am always asking is, what are the minimum standards for being a doctor? Is it all about filling in the seats, or is it also about setting minimum standards so that only certain kind of people can treat you and me? If you're okay with what is happening, I think there is no outrage that's needed. But at some point in time, some line has to be drawn. हम बोलते हैं ना लक्ष्मण रेखा रहनी चाहिए. There has to be a Lakshman Rekha for these kind of things. Because just because your seats are vacant there, if you start creating this entire thing where the quality or the standards keep falling, then what you will have are people who have become doctors who cannot treat you but can bill you. And that is a tragedy or the travesty that the nation must protect itself from. I hope the authorities there are listening, and I do hope that people like us speak up on these issues so that there is some kind of a pressure on the government, on the council, National Medical Council and everyone to ensure that there is a minimum standard that is set and that is never violated just because you need to fill in the seats. I hope this works. Thank you so much. Namaste.